Hello and welcome to my clean and organized boat shed. My name is Panu and I am building this 15-meter liveaboard cruising sailboat here in Finland. So far I have done mostly these frames you can see behind there, and of course this stem piece you can see right in here in two halves. This video is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna film it just today, and there is really three things. First, of course, is to continue with this stem a little bit. The second thing is this frame zero. I've done this already quite a while ago, and there are still a couple of things I need to do for that. First is to glue that upper section permanently on its place, and then afterwards I need to make additional piece down here, because when I made this frame zero, I actually hadn't really designed the stem yet. So the shape of the stem, which in this will connect eventually, is a little bit different than it was when I did the design for this. So I actually need to make additional piece for this lower section and fill up something a little bit here. For now, I'm just gonna glue that and kind of prepare this, and we'll cut the missing piece later. Gluing that is the second thing, really. And the third thing is that I want to start figuring out the boat here in the floor of this shed. So welcome along and let's start with that stem. So this is the second half of the stem that we did in the previous video. We shaped this with the CNC, and the last program I ran was the outer shape of the stem. You can see this groove right here and also these alignment holes. They are not fully through, obviously, because the router bit is not long enough. This is 11 centimeters thick. So we need to drill these holes through on both of these to be able to fit them together in the right spot. And they should be deep enough so that the drill bit goes straight through and doesn't really start to wobble. So that is the thing we're gonna do first. And actually, that is pretty much where I want to go with these stem pieces for now, because if we glue them together right now, they will be extremely heavy and quite difficult for me to handle them. And also, I would like to shape this final shape before putting them together, because now the other side is completely flat and it's easy to put on the table, for example. When they're together, they're kind of bulky, and the other side is also shaped. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave them like this until we have the boat in order that I can dry fit them before starting to shape them. But for now, we can try to put them together as a dry fit and try these holes, and we'll see how that goes. But I have to say, there is one thing particularly satisfying with these, and that is these surfaces that we planed with the CNC. Look at this. They are absolutely perfect. All right, I have a couple of rods in. They keep them together. And yeah, I can now see through this hole that the hole isn't actually really straight. I didn't manage to keep it that way when drilling, so they're slightly in angle, but I don't think that's really that big of an issue. I'm gonna use wooden dowels eventually to fit these together, so it will give just enough, hopefully, that they can fit inside there. Otherwise the fit looks it looks as perfect as I ever can wish. So yeah, I think this thing was pretty much a success. It's actually kind of hard to show you what I try to film this from different angles. So here you can see this groove. They fit together pretty much perfectly. So this piece is going to be cut from here. This is going to be connected to the deck. So this should be in right angle. So yeah, I think this is as good it can be, really. In this spot you can see a little bit of a difference, but actually this cut right here is the shape the stem is going to be eventually, so this is going to be cut off. The other cut is on this side, this groove right here, so that looks good. There is a bit of an issue maybe here. There's this gap. I probably need to fill that. We'll see when I start to shape this if I need to do that. And here is the groove going right here. This is good. But here on the other side is the second issue I noticed. I didn't laminate this thick enough here, so you can see this groove kind of ends here. It should extend somewhere around here, so I need to laminate some more here and then shape it this shape. It's not really that crucial because the keel timber will continue from these curves, so this is kind of just a filler between the stem and the keel timber. There is another small place, maybe I need to fill this a little bit, but that's all right. It's a quite small section. So I think that's enough for the stem for now. We'll get back into this when we're starting to fit this on the boat. Now I'm gonna just move this to the side and leave it like that. And yeah, let's jump to the next job. Now everything is ready for starting the glue up of this upper piece. You may remember from earlier video, there's these glue surfaces right here and on the other side and right in here, so they should be ready. This time I'm going to use thickened epoxy just because there is some variation gap maybe there. And for that I actually bought a while ago some filling agents, so let's try to find them somewhere right now. So these guys, this is actually fumed silica stuff you may have seen in many other channels as well. It is super lightweight. This basically doesn't weigh anything and should make, well, strong bond between everything. This kind of very lightweight and dusty stuff. Probably not good to breathe either. And this other container is chopped fiberglass. I have never used that before, so this might be a good place to try it. It's basically just fiberglass fibers in small pieces, and yeah, it should make the epoxy much stronger because it adds fibers in every direction. So it might be a good idea to try this as well. Not sure if this glue up actually needs stuff like this, but yeah. Now I just grab some epoxy, mix it and spread it in these surfaces, and I think I'll make first just wetting the area and then put the thickened epoxy onto these surfaces. And let's see how that goes. What else? Yeah, of course, one thing. This is of course on this table, and I have these rods here that keeps it on its place from these alignment holes, and I am of course going to put some rods here as well. That way. So it will stay right where it should be in relation to this other piece. So it should not be in any kind of weird angle, because this surface is of course going to be the deck level, and it should be in the quite precise and right spot. Let's just fill these joints. This is now done. It looks all right. The epoxy seems to fill the gap between the pieces, and yeah, I was a little worried that I will mix way too much epoxy, but yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case. It kind of went in there, so I guess it's better to have a little bit too much and have a good squeeze out than other way around and leave voids. Now we'll just leave this here to cure, and hopefully it comes together well. The alignment should be good. These rods keep it on its place, on the right spot, and yeah. Now I think we'll jump to the last job for the day, which is to start marking the boat on the floor. One of the first things I did here in the shed when this was completed last summer was to mark the boat here on the floor. And you can maybe see this red string that is now loose on the floor. I did those back then, and the idea was that the front of the boat would have been that way and the stern in there. And this behind the camera right here is the main door. The idea, of course, was that I can access the boat through the stern when it's flipped right side up. But since that, I have already done quite a lot of things in here, and it has become obvious that I need the workspace in this area right at the front door. So instead, I'm gonna flip the boat over so that the bow will be right about there where the camera is right now, and the stern will be on that end. And for that, I'm gonna mark the center line of the boat now on this floor. But the position in this way should be quite the same as it was previously. The bow was over there, and the stern middle was around here. So I'm just gonna flip them over so that the stern will be back there and the bow will be, well, quite close to that camera stand where it is right now. So string from here to there, and yeah, let's do it. Of course, it's not really the measure line, it's just to mark things on the way. So let's do that first, and then I'm gonna explain how I'm gonna do the foundations, and then you can comment my plans, how they sound. All right, the center line string is here, and I measured it. It's 17 meters and 20 centimeters from that screw to another. So there is kind of maybe 2 meters of flex of the place. Obviously, there is this bowsprit that is going to extend from the 15-meter mark that I have said many times. But the bowsprit will be installed in very first session, so I need to have a room for that as well. Yeah, the next thing really is to start marking the station places on this string. And as you can see, there is a bunch of stuff still in here. I need to get rid of these. The plan now is to make the foundation for the boat. But first, there was a few options how I'm gonna do this. The idea, of course, is that I have probably mentioned that I'm gonna build the bulwarks right against the floor here. So the bulwarks will be straight as the waterline, so there is no kind of a climb to the front of the boat. It's completely flat. There was a couple of options how I'm gonna be able to get the flat surface to lay the bulwark down. The first idea was that I'm gonna mark the area, and then we're gonna pour some self-leveling cement to fill the area and it should level itself completely. I asked that, but that is tremendously expensive. It would cost maybe 2,000 to 3,000 euros to get this area leveled with that stuff, because you have to get it thick layer enough so it can level. If you put too thin layer, it kind of has its own surface tension and it doesn't level. So you have to put it at least 1 centimeter. So that is a lot of stuff. There's quite a lot of area. So I ditched that. That's too expensive. The second idea was to have some kind of plates that have screws them to adjust the heights. That would be a bit too complicated, I guess, and how to get those screws, and yeah, there was too many things going on with that. And the third option that I had, and that's the thing I'm probably gonna go with, is to have basically just wooden boards on every station perpendicular for the center line. So every station will have its own board. They will be mounted to the floor. They won't move anymore. And then I'm gonna get a straight edge and a laser level and just plane them smooth. And they should be in perfect level. And the reason I need to do that is that this floor is quite good, but it's not perfect. There is a dip of maybe 1.5 centimeter from the highest to the lowest point. So I need to have a little bit of adjustment there to get it really straight. And then I think that is gonna be the way to go. There's a bit of work with that, but I think it's manageable because, yeah, there is 18 stations, I would say. Yeah, 17 frames plus the bow section, so there's a couple of more. They are quite small. And yeah, that's kind of the plan. And on top of those boards, that when they are leveled, I will put plywood forms that kind of make the form of the boat. The bulwarks will be part of the boat, the middle ones will be temporary structures. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get back into this in next few episodes, I believe. But yeah, here is the center line. Now I start to figure out the stations. I think that's enough for this video. If you have any comments, ideas, how would I make it easier than planing those boards, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your opinions of this matter. And of course, remember to subscribe, check the Patreon if you want to support my video production, check the t-shirts, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.